What arguments lay in wait? What perilous intellectual traps will we have to navigate safely? This could be the end of my career. If I encounter an argument I can't address, that's it. That's it. That's it right there. Now listen, to you fine folks donating to me already, you believe me, I will get to every last one of you. But not until we are done. Oh, no, 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 no. Now, to those of you who don't know, to those of you who are unaware, Hunter Avallone and I got a little bit of a history between us. You see, I started out making my YouTube videos, and, you know, I have to look for reactionaries to make fun of, and, oh, well, Hunter Avallone. Okay, so I gave him a couple, you know, I looked it over a little, I gave him the old 1-2, and Hunter Avallone, the man, the myth, the legend, on Twitter, how about instead of desperately responding to 4-year-old videos, you actually respond to my newer, far more mature content, or are you incapable? I was very capable. And I got like 5 times the number of engagements on my tweet, even though his Twitter account is bigger than mine. I don't know. Does it mean I'm right? Yes. So, I went on to do 3 more videos. This one, which is about LGBTQ insanity. Look at how happy I am down there. Ooh, I am just delighted to be a part of this video. And then we got the Gillette video as seasoned patricians of intellectual discourse, such as myself, like to engage in. And then I tried to do the 3rd video, but I got really bored because Hunter Avallone is really dumb and boring. So instead, I just debated a fan of Hunter Avallone's called Bunny Mew, who's, I'm assuming, having a grand old time about this. But this was meant to be the end of me doing Hunter Avallone videos. Because you have to understand, Hunter Avallone videos are not interesting. They're really boring and really dumb. There's very little substance in there for me to argue against. So, and what with me being the big brain boy that I am, I need that substance to keep me engaged. But that all changed because on this blessed day, on this day of days, Hunter Avallone, the man, the myth, the smooth-faced legend, has called me out on YouTube. I don't know why he'd do this unless he wants to boost my engagement. His channel has, let's see, 646,000 subscribers. I have about 16,000 subscribers. More subscribers than me. So this can only work out in my favor in the long run. But yeah, sure. Let's do it. Oh, absolutely. I'm ready. Now it's a 24-minute video. This is going to be a little bit of a slog. And I bet he's going to call me some nasty words. But you know what? That's okay. Because I've said a lot of really mean shit about Hunter Avallone, too. Let's do it!
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
hey, for real.
Once again, I have been called out. This time by a smarmy liberal who looks fresh out of Starbucks.
Joke's on him. We don't have Starbucks in my town. Lamau got him.
This is a channel known as Vosh. Although lacking in subscribers, this pretentious hipster has made multiple different videos on me, spending almost an hour.
As opposed to multiple same videos? See, that's the difference between you and me, Hunter Avallone. I do my content unscripted. I haven't seen this video before. Some people, weak-willed people, might go on ahead and watch this video before deciding to respond to it on stream, but I don't because I know you have no arguments here. So you're making prepared content. I can make fun of you for things like that. Let's keep going.
Hour each time talking about yours truly. At first, I thought I would just ignore this guy after sending him some beard butter, but it
You messaged me on Twitter, buddy.
turns out his videos on me were actually garnering a decent amount of views. I quickly noticed, however, that this pretentious hipster was reacting to very old, outdated videos on which I have since modified my positions publicly. I had to try and keep myself from laughing at how desperate this cringy little reactionary was, so
Does Hunter Avallone think that reactionary means somebody who reacts to things? Is that what... I know we've got some Hunter Avallone fans in chat here. I just want you guys to know, and I really want you to know this, okay? Take this to the bottom of my heart, okay? Reactionary doesn't mean somebody who reacts at things. Ooh. In regards to me doing his older videos, I don't know what to say. I went to his channel, I clicked on most popular, and took the videos from the top. I assumed they'd be most representative of his views. I don't know. Hunter Avallone, if you didn't want me to do that, maybe you shouldn't have had all your most popular videos be 3.5 years ago when you were more relevant than you are today.
So I went ahead and challenged him to respond to my newer videos. I knew he would take the bait, and sure enough, a few days later, Vosh dropped a brand new video.
Wait, is that taking the bait? Is it bait taking when you just challenge someone to do something and then they do it?
Reacting to my newer content. This video is sponsored by Raid.
Am I a joke to you, Hunter Avallone? Is this a joke?
Shady battles,
Jesus
champion,
Christ.
two decent rebuttals to a...
Oh, here we go. Okay, we did it. That was just 1.5 minutes of advertisement at the beginning of the video. And while I have you all here, have you tried an icebreaker lately? Feeling down at a party, not feeling confident enough to break out your smile while talking to that girl you like? Try Icebreaker Sours, or Icebreaker Duo. Sure to leave a tingling sensation in your mouth that will tingle the labial folds as you go down on her. Or something. Okay. Please.
Now don't get me wrong, I always appreciate and learn from criticisms of my work.
Really?
And I'd be lying if I said Vosh didn't present a few decent rebuttals to a few of my arguments.
Well, hey, even from your perspective, buddy, that means you've heard more good points from me than I've ever heard from you, okay?
However, overall, his video was filled with fallacies, flimsy criticisms, and a ton of contradictions. Even in the beginning of his hour-long reactionary video on me...
Again, this is Hunter. A reaction video is not the same as a reactionary. It's very important to me that people understand this. Reactionary has a definition. It's been in use for like 200 years.
He admitted that we were in partial agreement, but then he proceeded to embarrass himself.
There is nothing wrong, on a surface level, with being critical of LGBT culture, queer icons. There's nothing wrong with that. I've done it before. It's not inherently problematic or anything. Okay, I remember this. Is he actually about to spin me saying this as, like, me saying that he's... Okay, let's... No. I'm not going to preempt anything. I wouldn't want to embarrass myself. Let's let him make the arguments. Something like that. If all you do is make a career out of mocking certain groups of people or certain identities or certain sort of, like, political alignments, you're against those people.
Here we have our first assertion that is not grounded in reality. You act as if all I do is mock the LGBT community.
Well, no. That's one of the things you do. Do we want to take a look at your videos? We could take a look at your videos. Do you know how many videos I have about LGBT insanity, Hunter Avallone? I mean, it's one, and it's the video you did on LGBT insanity. But we can take a look at your content here. We can see what sort of general trends we've got here. So we've got liberals ruining college. We've got liberals betray illegal immigrants, where apparently illegal immigrants wear sombreros and party mustaches. Liberals ruin dating. Watching queer kid stuff with my kid. I remember this. This is where you said it was like disgusting that they talked about like non-binary and trans issues. LGBT insanity. I remember this one where you said that they were delusional and that United Airlines was enabling their delusional behavior by acknowledging their existence with an MX title on their service. The gays strike again. Queer kid stuff hits an all-time low. I don't know. And you know what? The LGBT stuff is just a small portion. I admit, Hunter Avallone, you're a patrician of the arts, my friend. This is by no means all of your content. You've got content making fun of women, fun of black people, fun of LGBT people, fun of liberals in general, SJWs, Ocasio-Cortez. You've got a whole rainbow, ironically enough, of content making fun of marginalized groups. You don't need feminism. Maybe we can go back. Dear millennials, the world's ruined memes. Dear LGBTQ community. I don't know. The problem with believing women. Fat acceptance strikes again. Queer kid stuff strikes again. Whew. I just gotta say, you know what? We can parse definitions all we want, but you fulfill my criteria for a channel that, builds itself off of criticizing certain communities or political identities. Much in the same way that my channel is built almost exclusively around criticizing reactionaries and fascists, one could look at my criticisms and interpret that as, oh, hey, I guess Vosh isn't a big fan of fascists and reactionaries.
And while I do make jokes sometimes, I primarily am critical not of the LGBT community as a whole, but of the culture the LGBT community has created.
Fascinating. Okay, it's the same loser argument every time. I'm not critical of black people, I'm critical of black culture. Oh, well, I'm not critical of women, I'm just critical of feminism. Da-da-da-da-da. Always one step back from the actual marginalized group. Also, you can't really claim that you're only against the culture when you laugh at the existence of the people themselves. Again, we can watch your LGBTQ insanity video once more, for you're literally like the joke, the punchline is that people are non-binary. I mean...
Not to mention your baseless and sweeping argument that me simply mocking something means I am against that thing to the point of being a bigot makes no sense. When a comedian mocks their family, are they against their wife and kids?
Precisely. There is no difference whatsoever between a comedian making jokes about their family and a YouTuber with a reactionary fan base making a 10-minute video on how gross and weird and creepy and delusional transgender and non-binary people are. There is no difference. Much in the same way, and I love to bust this one out, there's no real difference between a comedian making jokes about their family and, just a little 1488 crowd, Kekistani crowd making jokes about big nose happy merchants taking control of society. Nothing wrong with a little bit of criticism. Criticism can't possibly ever belie actual bigotry, could it? I hope not, because then you'd have to take responsibility for some of the things you say, Hunter Avallone. By the way, party of personal responsibility, no personal responsibility on display right here, let me tell you. I am super open about everything that I believe. I never back off and say, oh, it was just a joke. Oh, I was just making a joke. I was just doing some light criticism. I don't actually feel that way. I am very upfront with the things that I believe. It just sucks. I imagine it must be pretty emasculating to have to backpedal like this, soy boy Hunter Avallone. I know he's going to call me a soy boy later on, and I'm getting ready for it.
I make jokes, but I have consistently supported the LGBT community being treated as equals and given equal rights, as well as raising awareness of the horrors the LGBT community experiences in other countries.
Now this is what I call virtue signaling. I don't care. You make videos mocking their existence. Whew, sorry. Again, I don't do this. I make videos mocking reactionaries. I'm not then going to step back and say, oh yeah, I make those criticisms and I make jokes in videos sometimes, but I've always been very open with my support of... No, of course not, because I take responsibility for the things I believe in. Hunter Avallone, my boy Hunter, my sweet, smooth-faced boy, Hunter Avallone. What are you, like, 20?
No group should be excluded from criticism or jokes. You want the LGBT...
It's fine. I make jokes about LGBT people. I make jokes about trans people. They're not transphobic jokes, but I make the jokes anyway. I criticize both of these groups and their cultures. And yet, somehow... in spite of the fact that I do these things, I criticize and make jokes about, no one ever accuses me of being a bigot. I wonder if the fact that what you're doing is being played off as a joke isn't actually a determining factor in whether or not something is bigoted. What if there are sort of other contextual elements? Nah.
Community to be treated equally, right? So why should they also be treated differently and be excluded from criticism or jokes?
It's literally just virtue signaling. I said you can criticize them, but let's keep going. That's what it is. In fact, if I go down in the comments section, we'll find plenty of reasoned discussion from people who have perfectly reasonable and not at all bigoted takes on LGBT.
Ah, yes, when this pretentious hipster cannot back up
That's the second pretentious hipster.
his baseless claims, he begins to search my comment section for transphobia.
I didn't back up any claims. I made an assertion. Does he know the difference between a conclusion and an assertion? Also, yeah, you can actually get a pretty good idea of what's going on in like a community by looking at a comments section. Hey, Hunter Avallone. My videos don't have any transphobic comments underneath them, even the ones where I talk critically about trans issues. Just saying. Maybe it means something.
I haven't seen Vosh this desperate since he boycotted Starbucks for a week after he thought they were racist.
That was weak. Okay. I don't eat it at Starbucks. I don't like coffee.
By your logic, if someone comments the N-word on your page, does that now mean you're a racist?
Well, if I made a video on black people and the most upvoted comments were people spamming the N-word, and this was like the community support, yeah, it would probably mean something about the video. Unless I'd gotten brigaded by another community. Do you think your multi-million view videos have their comment section distorted by other communities brigading?
Of course not. Next, Vosh was reacting to the part of my video where I talked about the UK journalist being investigated for misgendering someone.
Again, it wasn't just misgendering. It was eliciting targeted harassment against the trans daughter of the person who manages the Mermaids child trans charity.
Among the points he made, which I will get to in a moment, he had the gall to suggest I was deceptively editing my clips to fit my agenda.
Hunter Avallone, patrician of honesty. You're right. Oh. Ooh, Hunter, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about you deceptively editing your clips over there. I'm really sorry you got called out in it, and how the actual full interview clip actually made it look a lot not as good for your side. Ooh, you know, if you're gonna deceptively edit your clips in the future, maybe don't do it in a way that's so obvious that I, watching your video for the very first time, can tell that there's more being left off the table.
Because Caroline Farrow had misgendered your daughter.
No.
Did you No.
And also the stuff around mutilation.
Wait, why did he just cut off after that? Did you contact the police after the other person misgendered your daughter? No. What she was about to say, because this was backed up in the BBC article we just read, was she contacted the police because she believed that that person had engaged in other forms of harassment.
I did not deceptively edit anything.
And you edited it like a fucking idiot. That's just very convenient. Your stupidity left out a key portion of information that was necessary to determining the context behind the police investigation. Whoops! Oh, better luck next time, Hunter Avallone.
And if you actually listen to the clip before Vosh pauses it to spaz out, you could hear that I was also including the clip where the woman who filed the charges explained that there were other factors that played a role in her police report.
Which you then played over, and then in response said, oh, it was just because of misgendering. You can't say you included the total context of the clip when you left some of it on the table, but then blew over it in your commentary, and then edited parts out that criticized your commentary in a future reading. Ooh, I'm sorry. Maybe if your brain just had a few more wrinkles on it, maybe you would have been able to deceptively edit that news story in a way that was less immediately obvious to someone with a room temperature or higher IQ.
Because Caroline Farrow had misgendered your daughter.
No.
Did you No.
Also the stuff around mutation.
This pretentious hipster is clearly blinded
That's three. That's three on the pretentious hipster.
by his own preconceived notions about me, which is yet another reason why his opinions and criticisms of me should be taken with a grain of salt.
Oh, this is really good. Wait. I really like this. Again, for context, Hunter Avallone's channel is much bigger than mine. I really expected him to be like, just ignore this fucking, this fat soy boy loser, just ignore, like, there's no value in his criticism. But instead, he's like, take it with a grain of salt, okay? Like, he can't just outright dismiss me. That's pretty fun.
It's important to note that I was criticizing the fact that this author was being investigated for hate speech. Vosh, however, was quick to point out that they never actually said hate speech in the article. The police report because of hate speech.
Nobody said anything about hate speech. Once in that article, hate speech was never mentioned.
The rest of his argument was that this woman actually reported the tweets to the police because of harassment.
Yeah, harassment and hate speech are two completely different things. Wait, what? The article didn't mention hate speech. What do you want?
In fact, Vosh bases the duration of this argument on the notion of harassment.
But by constantly harassing you and enabling others to harass you? You know, harassment is a thing, and the police are the people you talk to about harassment. The police are investigating whether or not this constitutes harassment. She contacted the police because she believed that that person had engaged in other forms of harassment. Okay, apropos, is the quality of my videos really this low? I guess this is an older video. Have I, like, upped the quality since then? Fuck, I need to assemble my new computer.
However, harassment was never mentioned in the article either, nor was it included in the video interview with the woman who filed the report. In fact, Vosh,
Yeah, I never said they said harassment. I said that the woman who was being investigated had made disparaging tweets which were being described as something which I consider Wait, what? Wait, these two things are completely incomparable. When I said that you called it out as hate speech when there was no mention of hate speech, that's a very pointed criticism of the fact that the term you used never showed up. When I described what happened as harassment, I was very clearly synthesizing that definition from the extent of things which the woman on Twitter had done to get her in an investigation by the police, such as accusing the woman of having mutilated her daughter's genitals, dead-naming the girl, misgendering the girl, and calling on other people to be critical of the way in which the Mermaids Trans Child Charity treats the children who are involved in it. All of these together unquestionably constitute harassment, but not only was there no mention of hate speech, there was nothing in there that even pointed towards something which suggested hate speech. Your synthesis is unfounded, my friend. My synthesis, one might call it al dente. One might call it, spiced appropriately.
If you watched the video instead of being a mindless reactionary...
Again, reactionary, is this the new thing? Can we, like, talk about this? Hunter Avallone. Reactionary means somebody who's opposed to liberalism or progressivism, somebody who opposes civil rights in some respect. The term reactionary and its derivatives, it's etymologically dated back to, like, the French Revolution. This isn't some, like, modern libcuck term or anything of the sort. This is a very pointed and well developed political term. Reactionary does not just mean somebody who reacts to things. Please cut it out. Hunter Avallone, I'm begging you. I'm on my hands and knees. I'm going deep. You got your fucking hairless baby boy crotch pressed up against my lips. I'm begging you. Let it up. This isn't what reactionary means.
She clearly states that she reported the tweets alleging a hate incident.
Say to people when they receive.
Yeah, harassment can be motivated by hate. Hate speech is a very specific term, Hunter. Facts and logic, Hunter Avallone, failing once again. to provide even the slightest bit of substantiation for the definitions that he uses. Yeah, you can harass someone based on hate without it being hate speech. Hate speech is a very specific definition.
Online communications that are malicious and nasty, that they should report them as hate incidents. I didn't feel, as the CEO of a charity that supports transgender children and young people, that it was right that I didn't do the same when I was subjected to that.
Vaush clearly holds me.
Wait, Vaush? Wait, he got my name right at the beginning. It was Vosh. Vaush? Okay, Hunter Avallone.
To higher standards than he holds himself.
I do? Maybe in terms of facial care regimen, you clearly take good care of your skin. I could do for a little bit more lotion application. Yeah, in that respect, I put you to higher standards.
This is both flattering but quite dishonest. Even so,
Wait, how is there an inaccuracy in the standards that are being applied here? How is there a hypocrisy? He claimed there was hate speech. There wasn't. There was no mention of hate speech. Somebody just used the term hate. I said it was harassment, and then I explained how what took place fits the legal definition of harassment. Ooh! I guess if you're Hunter Avallone and the extent to which you can engage with an article is reading the words and seeing if they look like words you know, I guess given those neurocentric deficiencies, one might expect this level of analysis.
Let's humor this pretentious hipster's harassment argument.
Four time and the pretentious hipster. Jesus Christ. Soy boy Hunter Avallone, you gotta calm it down. With these fast ones you're throwing at me. They're too hot.
And see what he has to say.
Nobody said hate speech.
Is never the appropriate course of action.
Wait, what? It's never the appropriate course of action? Even if a public figure is ruining your life by encouraging, like, brigading and targeting of you online? But by constantly harassing you and enabling others to harass you? That, like, you can't involve the police in that? You know, harassment is a thing, and the police are the people you talk to about harassment.
Congratulations, Vaush. You got your first point.
I did. Guys, I did it! I need, like, a stock noise with, like, audience applause on a button on the wall.
I certainly could have clarified better that it's never the appropriate course of action within the context of the situation I was discussing. However, the example you laid out was pure conjecture, completely hypothetical,
What?
and—
Yeah. Wait, what? Yeah, the example I laid out was hypothetical. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that when you're using examples to prove a point, you have to be able to put a date next. What the fuck are you talking about, Avallone? You silly boy. What the fuck are you talking about to me right now? What?
obviously wasn't the same situation the article was highlighting.
Well, no, Hunter Avallone, maybe you should be more careful with your words, my boy, because you said that you should never get the police involved over things like this. And the things like this are when public figures on Twitter start harassing you and enabling others to harass you. So I would say that not only was my example very apropos, it actually completely demolished your point because you just acknowledged a hypothetical which was identical to the situation I was describing would be a valid example of a time in which you should call the police and so on and so on. Ooh! Backpedaling Avallone, wheeling away again from the point.
You knew what I was saying, but you intentionally misled your audience and attempted to strawman my point.
You can't accuse me of misleading my audience. I do this live. I don't watch your videos beforehand. I watch them from beginning to end for the first time with my audience live. How can I strawman you? How can I misrepresent your arguments when there's nothing for me to cut out? I don't deceptively edit anything. I don't edit anything. You've apparently seen my YouTube videos. There's a reason why there's an fucking hour long. I literally pause the video every 6 seconds to respond to something. Sentence by sentence, I break it down. You can't accuse me of misrepresenting your views. There's nothing for me to be deceptive about.
It's really quite funny how you're doing the same thing you've accused Ben Shapiro of doing in earlier videos.
Whoa, you're not big enough to invoke Ben Shapiro's name, my friend. Step back. Step off. He's mine. One day I'm gonna debate Ben Shapiro, okay? Fucking 10 years from now. I don't know. Probably not. But it'd be fun.
Ben got a bunch of time to speak where he then said a bunch of shit that had nothing to do with the kid's argument, but
Did he just beep out me saying shit? Oh, okay.
misled the audience and then deliberately misinterpreted what the kid was saying to present a straw man the kid would then have to correct.
If you're gonna talk the talk, then maybe you should walk the walk.
You know that in the video right there, I substantiated my argument that Ben Shapiro deliberately misinterpreted what the kid had said in order to formulate sort of like an NPC dialogue tree talking point. You have failed to demonstrate how I did the same for you. You said it was about hate speech when it wasn't. I argued that it was instead about harassment and substantiated my argument. The only way in which you can substantiate your argument that it was hate speech was because the term hate was used in one of the videos. So, pretty weak point. Soy Boy Avallone. Gotta say, not very impressed by this one.
But then again, it doesn't look like you do much walking at all.
What the Got him! I will not take criticisms of my body type from somebody who unironically looks like he could be snapped in half like a carrot. I'm sorry. If we're taking it, what are we doing? Are we doing like the fitness angle? Are we doing like the Twinkie gay, like whoever has the best abs wins? Or are we doing this the bearish masculine way? Because I'm taking this the bearish masculine route, okay? Because you're what? 3 feet tall? I am fairly confident that I could rock you to sleep in person, okay? I could sweep my legs underneath your ankles, catch you gently as you flutter down to the ground, your little soaking wet 110-pound body, catch you in my arms, and gently rock you to sleep. My big, strong, hairy arms. Ooh. Oh, what a delight that would be. I bet it'd be the best rest that you've gotten in a while on account of that bastard child of yours taking up so much of your time and energy. Is this random assertion that you can never like call the police on harassment? What if people were like threatening violence? I guarantee, like, do you think that if Hunter Avallone, little boy over here, whose lips are puckered so sensuously right now in this freeze frame, do you think that? He left it in. That if he started getting like a coordinated dog pile on him to harass him, to potentially dox him, to insult him, to threaten him, and it was being coordinated or at least enabled heavily by a large journalist with a public following, do you not think maybe what do you just leave Twitter? Like, oh, sorry.
Well, Vaush,
it's Vosh. You know it's Vosh.
The scenario you tried to create to make me look bad actually happened, and I acted consistently. I had under 10,000 subscribers when I made a controversial, now outdated, and since modified video about the LGBT community.
I too have been the subject of hate. I made a video of hey, it's controversial. Hey, I don't believe these things anymore. Video about the LGBT community.
I was completely dogpiled on Twitter, as well as media outlets publishing articles slandering me almost daily. My job at the time even received calls regarding the video. Nice. I never contacted police, and I also never left Twitter. I'd be very...
Well, actually, you have since left Twitter, and I quite like this. I'm not entirely sure why this is. Hunter Avallone was banned off Twitter. His new account is Hunter Avallone 2, and it has like 3K followers, which is not nearly enough for somebody with 600,000 YouTube subs. So something got you off Twitter. I don't know what it was, but something got you off Twitter at some point. Whatever the case is, that's cool. I don't know the specifics of the harassment that you suffered. It's entirely possible that some of the things people did during that time would have warranted, if you had decided to call for one, a police investigation. I'm not accusing you of being a hypocrite here, Hunter Avallone. I'm just saying that you have a legal right to invoke a police investigation given certain circumstances. If those circumstances happen to you and you didn't go for a police investigation, then great, cool. Like, cool? All right, I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I don't think everyone needs to by power of the state.
Curious to know if Vosh would side with the people harassing me, or if he would act consistently and encourage me to get law enforcement involved, even if he agrees with the harassers.
Wait, no, that's not a matter of consistency. I'm 100% on board with people I dislike being harassed. Wait, what are you talking about here? Ooh, don't make me bust out my Antifa clothes, all right? Buddy, my friendo. There is nothing inconsistent about saying that a trans girl has the legal right to ask for police to investigate harassment, and me saying that I'm okay with harassing fascists and reactionaries and what have you. That's not the banger hypocrisy you called me out. Ooh, that's not as good as you probably thought it sounded in your head. Yeah. Everyone can get the police to investigate harassment. However, I'm fine with harassment against certain groups of people, but not others. Your video, the video that I reviewed your video, the one that you just said got you a bunch of hate, I've reviewed it. It's awful and incredibly transphobic. I'm totally fine with you getting harassed over that. Not as okay with fucking trans girls on Twitter getting harassed, dead-named, misgendered, and told that their genitals have been mutilated. See, the difference here, the big sort of divide is that you did something bad and she didn't. She just wants to exist. That's sort of the big difference there. That's the sugar and the salt, as one might say.
Even more so, there was no doxing, threats, or deliberate harassment within the current tweets for which the UK journalist is being investigated.
Okay. I never said that there was. I said that there was a threat for those things to happen. That's why the police investigate it. You don't really want to wait until after you have bomb threats being mailed to your current living address to get the police involved. This is a very weak argument right here. Like, this is like nothing. I literally just say, hey, you have a legal right to get the police involved if you feel as though you're being targeted harassment's being thrown your way. This is a fact. In England and in America. You got me?
And this right here, my friends, is why outlawing hate speech is such a dangerous path to take.
Never advocated for outlawing hate speech. Again, nobody said hate speech, and I like hate speech, like screaming the N-word, throwing like, yeah, get back into the fields, you. He has to censor half of what I say. Hey, do you think he'll make a video on this one? Fuck shit, cunt. 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 Do you think if we can leave Hunter, my man, please, I'm begging you. If you make a video on this video, leave that part in and blank it all out, okay? Then Hunter Avallone making a video on the Twitter harassment. This hate speech. Well, no. For one, nobody said hate speech. For two, if you're going to say hate speech, if you do this shit with it, then you're kind of making it sound like you don't believe it's possible to be hateful with speech, or more tacitly, that you're okay with people being hateful with their speech. Hunter Avallone, where are my fucking royalty checks? You're ripping like 45-second clips from my video, buddy.
What he's doing here is conflating hate speech as a crime in a legal sense with someone simply being hateful with their speech.
Hate speech, there's no such thing as hate speech legally in the United States. There isn't. There are hate speech laws. This is a big old Supreme Court hubbubaloo that's been going on for a fucking century.
Of course you can be hateful with speech, but whether or not that speech constitutes legal action depends on if it's simply a differing opinion or if it's a call to a violent action.
Yeah, That's why there's no such thing as hate speech in America. There's just inciting violence. Whether or not that violence is hateful has nothing to do with the criminality of the speech being issued. What the fuck are you talking about? If we're talking about hate speech, we're not talking about a legal definition, because there is no legal definition of hate speech. There's just incitement to violence. The fuck are you on about? Also, just a note in chat to the Hunter Avallone fans, if you donate $5 in Super Chat and send me a message, I'll actually respond to it. That's the closest you can get to me, okay? I know a lot of you are underage, though, so maybe it's for legal reasons that I want to keep you at a Super Chat's distance.
And again, the UK story we are debating here involved tweets that were heavily opinionated, but did not include calls to violent action.
Yeah. Believe it or not, it's possible to incite harassment against somebody without directly calling for violence. Sometimes there's an implicit call for violence that underlines behavior. Also, again, wait. I just realized, what the fuck are we talking about? I'm right. She had a legal right to invoke the police in this investigation, and there's nothing funny about that. What the fuck? What are we even talking about right now? What? I never said there were specific incidences of calls to violence being explicitly made by the woman who's being investigated. Strawman Avallone, misrepresenting my views again.
England's knife crime epidemic saw a 54% rise in young stabbing injuries in only 5 years.
What incredible whataboutism. What phenomenal whataboutism. You think that harassing trans people on Twitter is a problem? Have you looked at how many stabbings there are in Britain? What?
This is not whataboutism. Both scenarios take place in the same location.
Oh, gee. This isn't whataboutism. It happened in the same country. Oh my god, I'm so glad I watched this on stream for the first time. Oh my god, how can this be whataboutism? It's in England. They're both in England. Oh god. Oh man. Oh god. Gold comedy. Oh man. Oh, okay. Whew.
And there are limited amounts of resources, in this case police, to investigate a set amount of crime.
That's still whataboutism.
It's a zero-sum game.
It's still whataboutism. Wait, was that it? Wait. There were people in chat who were like, watch the full clip, finish the clip, libtard. You see, he substantiates his points, and then he finishes it with, there are only so many police? What? Yeah, you could do that with every fucking argument then. Hey, somebody stole the rims off my fancy car tires. Oh, well, there's a stabbing epidemic in Britain. You wouldn't want to waste the time of the, what do they call them? The bobbies? Yeah, the bobby time. You wouldn't want to waste the bobby time, would you? Ah, my fucking daughter got raped. What's one daughter's rape next to an increase of 54% in stabbings? Police, out there. Get out there. Go unstab people. The fuck are you talking about? It's still whataboutism. If you diminish the substantiality of one crime by saying that there are instead other crimes being created, almost as though you were saying, but what about? That's whataboutism. You fit the definition of whataboutism. You've done it. There is a box labeled whataboutism, and you have bent your tiny, frail, pasty body into a cube and slid yourself into it. You made a wet squelching noise as the fleshy brick, approximately 18 inches across on all dimensions, slid into the hole, almost as though it was perfectly shaped for you. We all know the You found your hole. You found your hole, Hunter Avallone. And the hole is labeled what about us? Oh, God. Okay. We gotta make it through this fucking video.
American gender fluid sex worker. No, hold on, guys. That's actually not the funny part.
I don't hate LGBT people, by the way. I'm just making fun of their French elements, by the way. The left are the real fascists.
Well, someone's off their meds, and it's not me. First of
Hunter Avallone, when you say, well, somebody's off their meds, you don't need to undercut it by specifying it's me. I know your audience, probably on the younger side, maybe not as familiar with the English language. They don't really know like the tropified, the ways in which we construct sentences and the ways in which we imply meaning through them. But you can just say, well, somebody's off their meds, and imply that it's me.
all, your notion that mocking fringe elements of a group somehow means that I'm a fascist is so beyond retarded, I don't even feel it deserves a response.
Wait a second, you can say retarded, but you bleeped out me saying shit and fuck? Wait, where's the bad word hierarchy? I thought retarded was around the same level as shit. Where? Huh. Well, today I learned. Also, what the fuck is he talking about? Can we rewatch this? Fun of the French element.
Worker. No.
Okay, so here, wait. We gotta rewatch this, okay? Look, this is very big brain. We have to watch.
It's a zero-sum game. American gender fluid sex worker.
Okay, so Hunter Avallone reads out in his video, gender fluid sex worker, and then?
No, hold on, guys. That's actually not the funny part.
The laugh track plays. Because it's a joke that a gender fluid sex worker would exist. That's the punchline. I don't hate LGBT people, by the way. I'm just making fun of their French elements, by the way. The left are the real fascists.
Well, someone...
So this wasn't me criticizing him for criticizing the fringe elements. This was me criticizing him for making a joke out of the mere existence of GSM people.
Off their meds, and it's not me. First of all, your notion that mocking fringe elements of a group somehow means that I'm a fascist is so beyond retarded,
That's not the argument I made.
I don't even feel it deserves a response.
But you responded to it.
If anything, suggesting I shouldn't be allowed to
You're still responding to it.
criticize fringe elements of a group is far more fascist than me making a joke.
I never said you couldn't criticize anything. You can criticize whatever you want. Your video was literally gender fluid sex worker, and then the laugh track plays, and you're like, haha, no, I know it's very funny that these people exist. It's a joke. I'm busting up with laughter right now. But no, seriously. What are you talking about? This is straw man Avallone coming at me again. When did I say he couldn't criticize things? What? And that's not fascism. And this is almost tangential. So stupid the point he just made that this becomes tangential. That's not what fascism is, buddy. That ain't it. That ain't it. Wait. So he misinterprets me saying that he's a bigot for literally just laughing at the term gender fluid sex worker. And then he goes on to accuse me of telling him he can't criticize anything, and that makes me a fascist. Ooh! We are so far removed from the actual argument. Hunter Avallone, if you had any stones on you at all, if there was anything between your legs other than the wilted labial flaps of scrotum that has not yet seen its fill, then you might have responded to me by explaining why you made a joke in which you simply said gender fluid sex worker and then did like a laugh track. You didn't do it. You didn't stand up for that point, did you? That ground you're defending may be a little bit too hot. Gotta retreat. Gotta backpedal up to the high ground of you telling me I can't criticize people as fascist. Gotta move it from the completely indefensible point that I talked about to a completely unrelated point that makes you look as though you're standing up for free speech. It's a clever trick for a 2-year-old. All right, I'm sorry. Let's keep it going.
Even more so, this pretentious hipster is so blinded by his
Fifth pretentious hipster.
own preconceived notions of me, he doesn't
Second time he said blinded by preconceived notions of me. Do you not check these scripts, Hunter Avallone? Jesus, like, I'm not even accusing you of using the insult too many times. I'm saying that you could reword the insult. Why pretentious hipster? Why not full of himself millennial? Like, I don't know. There are ways that you can make it a little less repetitive.
even realize the glaring contradiction here.
Oh.
It's important to note, Vaush is clearly saying
Vaush.
that my jokes about the LGBT community mean that I hate the LGBT community.
I mean, you can make jokes about the LGBT community without hating the LGBT community. I do that. But yeah, I do think you're disgusted by LGBT people.
In multiple other videos on me, however, Vaush has also accused me
Vaush.
of being a white nationalist. For example, he embarrassingly misunderstood my Gillette video where I said I liked the part where it showed men acting well. He somehow misunderstood this as me saying I liked the part where it showed black men being bad, even though the clip clearly showed all men acting appropriately, and I made it very clear that that was what I liked about it.
There were multiple parts of the Gillette video that showed white people doing good things, and you were like, ooh, but when you saw white people doing bad things, you went, oh, and then you saw some black people doing like good things in the ghetto, whatever, and you were like, I like this part. This community needs this kind of representation. Listen, my buddy, Hunter Avallone, my good friend, I'm gonna extend a hand over to you, okay? Can we... All right, I want you to reach out and take it, because I'm making this one official. I take back what I said about you being a white nationalist. You probably still are, but I can't prove it with the evidence available, okay? This is the problem with doing videos in a live response format. If I'm seeing things moment by moment, and you say one thing that makes it look one way, but then later you correct yourself and make it look another, I can't go back and undo the earlier part of the video. And what you're showing right now is the earlier part of the video, before I acknowledge that I was wrong about my assumptions as to how you were going to interpret the contents of the Gillette video. Now, don't get me wrong. You're racist. And a huge piece of shit. But let it be known, I'm taking back the white nationalism tag, okay? I'm taking it off, okay? It was right on your forehead. It's mine. It's back to me now. I guess I'm a white nationalist. It's like hot potato. You got to throw it to someone else. Hey, babe, you want to be a white nationalist?
Hey, why?
Do you want it?
No.
I've got the tag.
I don't want it.
I don't want it.
I don't want it.
I don't want it.
Give it to Lizard.
Okay, I'll give it to Lizard.
Okay.
All right. My bearded dragon is a white nationalist now. Honestly, I always had my suspicions.
Okay, this is one of the few parts of the commercial I actually like.
Exactly. I'm so f***ing smart. I'm so f***ing smart.
Look at this. The whole video, bashing men, showing some black guys misbehaving. This is the one part of the video I agree with. Hunter Avallone's a white nationalist, guys.
Never mind the fact that he
Yeah, me. You got me. I take that part back. But you gotta admit, I sure do look cute with my little hair flying around while I'm yelling like this, don't I? I look like a slightly less fat Trigglypuff. Remember? The real fat lady who like this. It's that enthusiasm that counts, you know?
completely misunderstood my point. Never mind the fact that he even admitted he was wrong.
Yeah, he did. Wait, what? Wait, what? You acknowledged that I admitted that I was wrong because I misinterpreted what you said originally, and you're still going on about it? My dude, I do a live debate format. Oh wait, my God, mein Gott, you're right. This whole time you can't actually see me reacting down there. Well, whatever. You guys know what I look like. Now there's two me's. Wait, so Hunter Avallone, I've already said that I jumped the gun on this one. It's a live format. I'm not going to edit out what I said earlier. That would be deceptive. If I put this through Adobe fucking Premiere and do, and no, now it looks like I never made a mistake. I foretell all. I don't do that. Didn't say anything about the black people. I admit I was wrong on that one.
But he still doubled down on the notion that I was a white nationalist, or at least had those tendencies.
Did I? I still see a fucking connection here, because there were other incidences earlier in the video where men were, like, behaving well, and he had a problem with all the ones that had white guys in it. And then you show the black guys, and then, like, oh, yeah, they're the good ones. I don't never, ever, 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 ever be charitable to the views of these people.
I really think that...
Yeah, I still stand by that statement, by the way. You guys can go look at that video yourself. I don't know. It really did seem like, even if I rewatched it today, I watched this the first time, what, a month ago? Even if I rewatched this for the first time, for the second time, like right now, I'm pretty sure watching Hunter Avallone's video, he's like, every single time like a white person demonstrates they need like room to improve, it's a cultural Marxist PC SJW Gillette commercial telling white men that they're not good enough. But when the black people do it, Hunter Avallone's like, yes, excellent, finally. The blacks are doing good. We need more of them, the good ones. Now, again, I admit I'm being a little bit uncharitable here. But I don't care. I mean, why would I be charitable to his views? He's shown himself to be a bigot and a fucking idiot in everything that he produces. Not to mention there are other videos that he has that I've gone over that are pretty overtly racist, like that response to the black people one. Ooh! Ooh!
Vaush is forgetting that...
But why Vaush? You got it right in the beginning! Okay.
That many of my videos have included jokes made at the expense of white people, even white men. And believe me, we have more dumb things to talk about than white kids having mental illnesses.
I've never seen any of these videos, and for two, it doesn't matter to me if he makes jokes about white men. He can make jokes about white men till the fucking cows come. It's not going to change my opinion of you, Hunter Avallone. Why don't, I was done making videos on you. Now I feel tempted to go back and do some more, but if you really want to change my mind about you, if you really want to get across and reach me across the aisle, why don't you fucking debate me? Why the fuck don't you debate me, Hunter Avallone? It's clear you have nothing better to do with your time than respond to my responses of your responses of other videos. Come on. 2 hours of your time, tops. My YouTube channel. More than 1,000 people, probably 2,000 watching. Pretty good audience. Not a lot for you, maybe. Pretty good number for me. We'll even do it on your channel if you want to set up live streaming. Doesn't matter to me. Please. Any topic you want, buddy boy. There is not a single thing going on in your head that I couldn't crush. Your own childhood memories? Your distant ancestral memory of breastfeeding from your mother's bosom? You're wrong about those. I could beat you in a debate about those memories. Anything you want. Just letting you know. I'm open to it. I've thrown it across on Twitter, too. I would love to see it happen. But I doubt it will. Because you know. I mean, you know. We both know. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. You could pop. Maybe stick to prepared content, buddy. No! I skipped back a bit. Here we go. We were right here.
More dumb things to talk about than white kids having mental illnesses. An Asian school shooter? This belongs to the whites! Confused, like, is this a class meant for angry white men to take? Like a group of chads sitting in their joggers talking about how much they hate equality? You realize that your assertion that me making jokes about a group means that I hate that group completely contradicts your other point that I am a white nationalist.
It really doesn't. Also, making jokes about a group doesn't mean that you hate a group. Building an internet career off of making fun of certain marginalized groups of people does. We gotta assert this distinction, Hunter Avallone. By the way, love the frame I paused on. That's good. This is actually, this is almost emote worthy for my Discord right here. Guys, Guys, throw those screen caps up, okay? If within 1 hour I don't see the 112, 56, 28 pixel renditions of this for my Discord emotes, I'm gonna be real disappointed.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good ass facial expression right there. What do you think it'll mean? Do you think it'll be when you're so stupid that your brain revolts against your skull and you're dealing with the pain? Or do you think it'll be you're getting fucked in the ass and the pleasure is indescribable? Who knows? Whatever the case is, and I really need to assert this difference right now. Making videos in which you make jokes about a group of people doesn't mean you hate that group of people. Again, I've made jokes about black people, I've made jokes about Hispanic people, Asian people, I've made jokes about trans people and gay people and asexual people and pansexual. I'm pansexual. Made jokes about fucking every group under the sun I make jokes about. Usually, I admit, fairly tame jokes. I am a libcock. But jokes nonetheless. You make jokes about white people. I don't think you hate white people. But you have never made videos, Hunter Avallone, quite a few videos, actually, if you want to keep up with your margins, about white people being intrinsically funny and degenerate and deluded and stupid and ridiculous, making fun of the existence of white people, making jokes at their expense. You don't really build a career off that one. Or, hey, if you're thinking of switching, feel free, buddy.
If I view white people as a superior group, as you claim, which, by the way, I don't, why on earth would I also make jokes about white people, which, by your logic, means that I hate those people?
Well, that would be my logic if I thought that telling a joke about a group of people magically meant you hate them. It's a good thing I have wriggled my way out of this logical trap you have set for me by not believing that thing. Incredible. How does he do? Hey, he can't keep getting away with this! How does he keep sliding out of these logical traps? How does he do it? Let me know. Please, in the chat, let me know. No one knows.
I make jokes about many different people and many different groups, including white people. You cannot claim that...
You know, by the way, that a reactionary has fallen back to their last hill when they're talking about, but I make fun of white people too. That truly is the epitome of having regressed to the final defensive position you can take.
Me making jokes means that I am hateful towards those groups
I didn't
while
say.
also claiming I'm a white nationalist.
I didn't say. Well, again, I took back your white nationalist tag. I'm not going to fault you for being upset about that one. I still think you're racist. Don't think you're a white nationalist. But maybe we could... Hey, Hunter Avallone. Hey, maybe we could talk about that, huh? Prove to me you're not a white nationalist. We can talk about the rise of white nationalism, the alt-right. We can talk about Charlottesville. We can talk about Ben Shapiro and PewDiePie. We can do it all. Prove to me you're not a white nationalist. Live! On YouTube. Just a suggestion. Just saying.
Vouch, you are a liar,
Oh.
a degenerate, and one of the
Oh.
weakest reactionary... Vouch,
Whoa. Oh my God, he's coming at me.
you are a liar, a degenerate, and one of the weakest reactionaries I've ever seen.
Reactionary does not mean somebody who reacts to things. Please! And a degenerate, too. Whew. Is he... Ooh, do you think he's calling me a degenerate because I sleep with men? Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, that's a little bit spicy, Hunter Avallone. Jesus, you want to put me in a camp or something? Good luck, little noodle body boy. Not that there's no use for little noodle body boys, by the way. Yeah, you can do some good ass stuff for that.
Realizes how low they're setting the bar, not only for sex workers, but for non-binary individuals as well.
Classic bigot move right there. Just, whew, that's just the good one right there. You are a representative of your demographic, but I am not of mine.
Minority groups don't have as many representatives of their demographic, good or bad.
So for those of you who don't know, context-wise, this was about a gender-fluid sex worker licking a toilet seat for their kinky fucking fans or whatever, right? And Hunter Avallone goes on a 4-minute fucking snowflake rampage about how gross it is, and he talks about how you're not setting a good bar. Like, fuck, no one ever says this about any group of people that aren't a marginalized community. Like, oh, yes, you fucking white person in Florida found pissing into a crocodile's mouth and got their dick bitten off. You're not a very good representative for white people. You know, of course not. Nobody does this. This is very classic, very, very, very classic prejudice. Expecting people of minority groups to be perfect representatives for their cause, not expecting the same for non-minority groups. This is very classic. This is vintage. If I were to pull this one out of the bookshelf and dust it off, I would immediately start sneezing because of my allergies, because there would be so much dust, because it's a classic.
So when the only time average Americans are exposed to this minority group is when they're doing some crazy crap, unfortunately, it does reflect poorly on that demographic.
Wow, it's almost as though the media, which is biased in favor of representing the views of the majority and the mainstream, will use marginalized groups as sensationalist shock value rather than representing them in a positive light. Much the same way that you did, where you made fun of that person's sex worker gender fluidness in the title, so too will news organizations take advantage of their marginalized status for clicks and for views. Ooh, it's almost as though this is something of a systemic problem and not the fault of gender fluid people who have to be on fucking perfect guard all the time. So what, gender fluid people can't post weird videos of themselves to Twitter? Because it'll destroy gender fluidity? Yeah, what's up?
We've got the emo.
Good. The emote has been made. Huntergasm. Hunter Avallone, you hear that? We got your emote.
This is definitely not ideal. I wish it weren't the case, but sadly...
Ooh, do you wish it weren't the case? Ooh, do you... is it true that you don't? Then why'd you make the video where you said gender fluid sex worker and then everyone laughed? I really want to know that, because unless you think the existence of these people is funny, there's no point to that joke. The only way in which that joke works is if you think the idea of being gender fluid is fundamentally absurd. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, how can you say it's deeply unfortunate when you do this? You literally do this. There are plenty of videos out there of little pristine fucking cisgender white girls doing weird shit on Twitter, but you didn't pick those, did you? You picked the one of the gender fluid femme, and then you looked at it, and then you all laughed because gender fluid sex worker. You did the thing. You did the thing.
It's true. Next, he reacts to the part of my video where I discuss United adding non-binary gender options. Besides being another...
I like, by the way, maybe I shouldn't have expected this much. I really expected this video to be like a holistic takedown of my channel, but this is just him reacting to the one video I did, reacting to his LGBTQ insanity video. I was hoping this would be a little bit more expansive, you know?
Another woke corporation trying to appear as if they care about LGBT people in hopes of making a quick buck.
See, the difference, this is a criticism that I make of businesses as well. The difference is when I do it, when I'm like, these fake woke corporations don't give a fuck about LGBT people, they're just trying to make money. When I say that, that's because I actually care about people caring about LGBT people, and it upsets me that it's only being done for the profit motive. When people like Hunter Avallone say it, they're doing it because they want to reinforce to their audience that no one actually cares about LGBT people, it's just for the money.
That's a really nice red herring right here, Vosh.
Do you know what a red herring is? Please describe something that even remotely represents a red herring. Okay.
First of all, you pull my alleged intentions out of thin air. You make another...
Ooh, yeah, ooh, you got me. It's true. See, bigots usually don't, expressly say, hey, I disagree with the existence of these people and think they should be treated worse, you usually gotta extrapolate a little bit from their behavior, but alright.
Assertion based on nothing but your own preconceived notions, and you desperately try and divert the topic. You can claim moral superiority all day long.
Wait, he's just saying things. He's not even responding to my point. So Hunter Avallone said that the only reason United Airlines is including a non-binary title, MX, rather than Miss or Mr., is because corporations just want to make money. And then I paused and said, very apropos with my giant brain, that yes, I agree, corporations are just trying to make money. The difference is, I say this saying corporations should make a more sincere and authentic effort to include or to respect gender and sexual minorities, whereas people like Hunter Avallone will say it to delegitimize the notion that any institution would ever want to provide anything for gender and sexual minorities. You can see this is a very big difference. Imagine here, wait, everyone close your eyes, okay? Hands in your lap, not down there. Hands in your lap. Close your eyes. Now imagine this, okay? Imagine that an inner city private bus company is doing a day where they're only going to be providing service to black people, not white people or any other racial group, because they want to call attention to the unfair standards to which black people were subjected up until the civil rights movement, and in some places, even today. Okay? Okay, imagine that, all right? Contentious? Yes. Apropos? Very, all right? Now, two people now say the same thing. One person, a white nationalist, then says, they're only doing this because the bus company wants the fucking money and attention. Okay? Why do you think a white nationalist is saying this? Now I, a big boy libcuck, look at this and say, well, they're only doing this for the money and the attention. Do you think that me and the white nationalist are making the same criticism for the same reasons? Or do you think there might be different reasons why we might criticize this bus company for the same act? Little something to think about. Just saying. And if I'm wrong, if Hunter Avallone's saying that United Airlines was only doing this for the money and for the attention, if him saying this was not a way for him to delegitimize like the nature of like giving credence or recognition to non-binary people through through businesses, if that wasn't his goal, if he was trying to critique them for some other reason, Hunter Avallone, I sure do hope you say so in this video, because otherwise it seems like you're just mad I called you out and you don't really have a counter argument.
But even if my intentions were what you claim they are, which by the way, they aren't.
Oh shit, he got me. They're not. Fuck. Oh, fuck. I was so... Oh, darn. I was so confident on this one. I got fucked.
He's doing topping.
I'm getting blown the fuck out right now. My fucking ringed orifice is getting expanded. All right, let's focus.
It really wouldn't make a single difference.
Oh, interesting. Hey, I don't believe what you say. I don't believe that. But even if I did, it wouldn't matter. Fascinating, Hunter Avallone. Ooh. You know, if you wanted to rebuke my point here, you should have come up with a reason why you would oppose the inclusion of the MX pronoun or the MX title in United Airlines that wasn't just trying to force them out of corporate recognition. But instead, you say, no, that's not my reason. But if it was, would it even matter? Whew. Pretty weak-ass rebuttal you've got right there, where you say you do not in fact believe thing, but then you say, well, if I did believe thing, would it even matter? This isn't debated anywhere in academia, not in sociology, not in psychology, not in anthropology. Gender is... And by the way, the reason why you critique things, very fucking important. Like maybe Hunter Avallone can only interact with policy and theory at the most basic level, where just thing happen, is thing good, is thing bad, yes, no, okay. But the reasons why you do things are also super fucking important. For instance, the difference between implementing UBI as part of like a larger strategy to improve the livelihood of lower class Americans and implementing UBI so that you can later defund social welfare programs. This is a very big difference. The reasons you do things matter, my friend. It's a social construct. That's literally the definition of the word.
Oh,
Hunter
no.
Avallone, if you end up watching the YouTube video he watched the YouTube video. This gets cut up and turned into a question. If United Airlines is operating on a feels over facts basis and they're the ones enabling delusion, could you provide for me some academic materials which indicate that gender is not a social construct?
Vosh, I love how you sound smart. You sound...
I'm so ready. Is he gonna do it? Is he gonna find the things that don't exist and find academic literature which suggests that gender is exclusively a product of biology? Ooh! I mean, this was literally part of my major, and I spent 4 years studying subjects like this and tangential to this, but if Soyboy Hunter Avallone has some data that I'm unfamiliar with, then perhaps this is my chance to learn.
sound like a confident, educated man. But when you look past the pretentious way in which you word your sentences, you're nothing more than a cliche Tumblr liberal.
For one, I take offense at this. I'm not a fucking liberal. For two, I never liked Tumblr. And for three, I didn't even say anything pretentious. I literally said that the academic consensus was blank, and I would love to see sources which suggest otherwise. Is that the bar for intellectualism with Hunter Avallone? Hunter Avallone's like sitting at Starbucks. He doesn't normally like to patron Starbucks because that's where the soy boys drink, but he just needed his coffee before the day. And then he hears like another person on the other line being like, hey, I've seen this. An academic consensus suggests that, like, you know, this kind of traffic flow is like, it seems to be the best. Like, we don't really get much benefit for doing it. But if you have any other sources, and he's like fucking quivering. He's with all of his strength, he's trying to crush the little cardboard cup that they give you, you know, with the corrugated ridge and the little band around it. He's trying his best. He can at most dent it. And he's like, fucking pretentious.
What you're calling gender, I'm calling gender expression.
Oh, no. Oh, God. All right. Sure.
Sure, there are many different ways to express your masculinity or your femininity.
Yeah, for instance, I'm going full stop on the masculinity right now, and you're playing it pretty andro right now, my friend.
But there are, without a doubt, biological traits that play a role as well. I'm coming from the argument...
In one's gender or one's gender expression? Let's see where he's going. There's going to be some dumbass argument. Let's do it.
That sex dictates gender. And listen, I understand...
Wait, what did he say?
Well, I'm coming from the argument that sex dictates gender.
Oh, okay, so sex dictates gender. Okay, so... Is it biological or is there a social... Because that's what I said. I said in the video that you are now trying to pull apart, gender is gender... In my defense, my mouth hurts very much from the dental work. That gender is a product of society. It is a social construct. So, please.
And listen, I understand there are scenarios where this is not the case, where your identity no longer accurately reflects your sex. According to psychiatry.org, part of the diagnosis for gender dysphoria includes, but is not limited to, a strong desire for the primary and or secondary sex characteristics of the other gender. A strong desire to be of the other gender. The desire to be the other gender already suggests gender is binary, and we use the binary basis for diagnosis.
That the gender is binary when we use it for the diagnosis of gender dysphoria isn't relevant to the larger theory surrounding gender, because gender dysphoria is not the only way in which we recognize... Oh no, he's doing it. He's found enough terms where he thinks he's making an argument. Nope, we're doing it. All right, everyone. All right, we're doing it. We just gotta explain, because he's throwing around half terms. Let's do it. I know we've got Hunter Avallone fans. I gotta do him justice, okay? Listen, super easy. Get ready. Are we fucking ready? Okay, here we go. Let's do it. This is now a paint stream, okay? Look at this box. Look at this box. Okay? XX, XY. Now, there's been a lot of really fascinating research over the past couple years to suggest that our understanding of sex is also pretty socially determined. Because you've got other chromosomes, fucking XXY and fucking XYY and XXX and shit. But for now, we're gonna focus on the chromosomes the majority of people have. XX and XY, okay? I'm XY. You know how I'm XY? Well, to be honest, I don't actually know. It's entirely possible that I have XXY chromosomes or XXX chromosomes, and that I'm, in this instance, very unlikely how I turned out in respect to that. Pretty sure... Is that my mom in the background? No, I'm pretty sure that's my girlfriend. So what was I saying? All right, so... I'm pretty sure I'm XY, okay? I've got a huge dick, like a really large penis. I'm big, I'm hairy, I'm deep-voiced, I got a... there's a lot going on over here, okay? And then some people have XX chromosomes. They probably shit, though. Okay, so, generally speaking, people who got the XY call themselves men. Oh, we're really going hard with the art today, boys. Ugh. And people with the XX generally call themselves women. In this respect, there is a biological basis to gender. However, here's what you didn't consider. Here's what you failed to consider. You fucking idiot. You dumbass. You stupid piece of shit. These things don't exist in reality. What the fuck does a man mean? What does a woman mean? We have male humans and we have female humans, but that doesn't... What, the men? When people say men, they don't just mean, yes, bone density, muscle strength, and a big floppy penis and chromosomes, okay? When people talk about men, they talk about things like honor, chivalry, having a deep voice, wearing suits instead of dresses, having shorter hair, not wearing, well, nowadays this is changing, not wearing ear and facial piercings as much, not wearing high heels, instead wearing flat-footed shit. There's a whole bunch of shit that goes into being a man, and contrarily, which goes on to being a woman, which are totally fucking arbitrary. There's literally no fucking biological basis to this shit, okay? Do you think there is I ask you, Hunter Avallone fans in chat, do you think that there is a biological basis to men wearing suits and women wearing dresses? Do you think that we just like, oh yes, we discovered in 1603 the optimal clothing configuration around the shape of the birthed hip of the female is the dress, and complementary, the wide-shouldered suit is optimal for... No, of course not. Social standards, da-da-da-da-da. You know, up until pretty recently, all young children, up until around like 3, 4, 5, 6, were called girls. Did you know that? They did this back in the medieval ages, you know? They even did it more recently in the medieval ages. You're a little boy or a girl? Fuck it, they just call you a girl. And then, when you grow older and start to develop sort of sexual characteristics, face shape and voice and what have you, then they'd call the girls young ladies, and they would call the boys boys. But up until that point, we just had little dumbass babies, and we called them girls. And we would dress them in dresses. Even if they had little dinghies, we dress them in dresses. So, gender does not refer to this. Gender instead refers to the collection of social attributes which are then put upon people very often in accordance with their sexual identity, like like being a male or a female, XXXY. However, there are examples of this not being the case, of people who are born XX more strongly identifying with the characteristics of manhood, and people born XY who more strongly identify with the characteristics of womanhood. They're generally called trans people. We also have, and we can get rid of the XXXY now, because who the fuck cares about chromosomes? We also have people who feel as though their gender identity does not fit within the purview of either manhood or womanhood, and then they tend to operate in this weird in-between space. There are agender people, there are gender-fluid people, there are non-gendered people, there are, I just tend to call them non-binary, because they don't fit within the binary, man and woman. The reason why the article that Hunter Avallone is talking about here, with gender dysphoria as what have you, is because very often, very often, gender dysphoria refers specifically to the way in which people's gender identity reflects the basis that gender identity is often regarded to have with one's sex, chromosomes, and what have you. So, if you are a man, you probably have XY chromosomes and probably have a big floppy donger going on, and under those circumstances, your attraction to being a woman, your desire to be a woman, is going to come with it the parfait, the characteristics associated with womanhood. Arbitrary ones, like wearing dresses and high heels and wearing lipstick and shit, and ones that have a basis in the preeminent sexual determination with which we are assigned, the XX chromosomes, associated with things like narrow shoulders, wide hips, having a floppy pussy, and having big titties. Okay? Now listen, it's real fucking easy. Listen, if you don't get this is complicated stuff, okay? That's fine. Gender theory has been on the up and up over the past few decades, all right? Totally fine if you're not one, and I'm not being patronizing here, totally fine if you don't feel like engaging with these concepts right now, okay? However, this is a complicated fucking subject, and the extremely reductive, anti-intellectual approach that many reactionaries take towards it is, well, let's say, reflective of their intelligence, all right? I will say that simply, okay? So if you're in chat right now and you're saying lol blank doesn't understand biology, I submit to you the counter-argument. No, you. It is you who does not understand biology. All right! Let's keep it going. Let's listen to his dumbass arguments.
According to Science Daily, transgender brains are more like their desired gender from an early age. Brain activity and structure in transgender adolescents more closely resembles the typical activation patterns of their desired gender, according to new research. The findings suggest that differences in brain function may occur early in development, and that brain imaging may be a useful tool for earlier identification of transgenderism in young people. Here we see another biological basis in which transgenderism is founded on.
Well, yeah, there is a biological basis in transness, in wanting to transition, because this usually accompanies some physiological changes. That does not mean that gender is intrinsically tied to sex. It simply doesn't. Transgender, like being transgender, is in many respects as much a gendered process as it is a sexual one. But there are transgender people who never feel dysphoria and never engage in any surgery. They just identify differently. These people don't have any, like, hang-ups with their sex at birth or with their genitalia or with their chromosomes, but they're transgender nonetheless because they identify as a gender outside that of the binary, or outside that which they were assigned at birth. So, again, look, listen, I actually respect Hunter Avallone here because I have a feeling like he's making a good faith effort right now to explain his views within the purview of pre-existing gender science. I actually believe that's the case, and Hunter Avallone, if you're watching this right now and that is the case, then honestly, good on you. Because you just made an argument for the legitimacy of transness. So maybe you weren't like 100% up on the specific nuances of gender theory, but nonetheless, in your video, which hundreds of thousands of people are going to see, you just made an argument in favor of the legitimacy of transness. I'm not going to complain about that. If you want to discuss the nuances of this, then again, fucking debate me. But in the meantime, this is pretty good.
Gender were just a social construct, as you suggest, there would be no biological factors that would come into play when discussing gender.
That's not true. Race is also a social construct. This is universally regarded and scientifically proven. There is more genetic variation on average within people of a single race than there are midst people of different races. That is to say, if I were to travel the world and encounter a random Caucasian person and a random black person, it is more likely there will be a greater genetic difference between myself and the Caucasian person than there would between me and the black person. Amazing! Now, with that being said, race is a social construct. But it has a biological basis, obviously. We're not all just imagining dark skin on our black friendos, are we? No, that shit's for real. They're born with it because of some, I don't know, I don't know what the fuck goes on in your birth to make you black or white. I don't know if there's like a thyroid. I don't fucking know, okay? Whatever. So things can be a social construct, but social constructs can, in and of themselves, still be reflective of or referential to biological distinctions. No, I understand melanin is what makes skin darker. I mean, what in the genome determines how much melanin is? Whatever. Okay, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Shut! What was I saying? Anyway, something can be a social construct while still being referential to, or even based upon, a biological characteristic. Like, say, for example, skin color.
We can also look at this article from Quartz. Although I don't agree with everything stated in this article,
well, you can't just pick and choose, buddy. You can't just look up a bunch of research on trans people to determine their veracity and then use that against my argument and then say you don't agree. You can't do that. You can't be like, hey, I like this part of the article, but not this part.
it does say a study published in November 2017 suggests that these sorts of girly toy preferences aren't simply a reflection of gendered social pressures. A meta-analysis of research reviewing 16 studies on the subject that collectively included some 1,600 children found that both biology and society affect boys' and girls' toy choices. But overall, the data reflect broader findings in psychology, which show that biology and society interact to cause gendered behavior. In other words, contrary to the popular progressive belief, gender is partly socially constructed, but it's not just a social construct.
All right. I've actually seen this meta-analysis. It doesn't disagree with anything I said. You know, and I've even said it, even in a non-gendered society, one in which gender doesn't exist at all, there are still going to be evident biases in terms of behavior and attitude and what have you, between people born with big floppy titties and people born with huge dongos. Obviously, there are ways in which biology interacts with social expectation to produce behavior. That doesn't make it not a social construct. It's much in the same way where if you give birth to a black baby and a white baby, and then you give both of them, like the white baby, hey, here's two dolls to choose from, and it's like a black doll and a white doll. The white baby will choose the white doll more often. The black baby will choose the black doll. Well, is this a social construct? Probably not. Is it reflective of the fact that they recognize their own skin tone and are probably more, at least on a intrinsic psychological level, more trusting of animate human figures which are closer to their own skin tone? Probably. Does this reflect a bizarre interaction between social expectation and biology, which is really difficult to wrap your head around in this broad abstract? Yes, of course. All of these subjects are extremely complicated, but I have never been the sort of person to believe that in absence of gender expectation that everyone would just be perfectly gray and neutral and sexless and everything would just be the same all the time. So I applaud Hunter Avallone, again, for actually making the effort to look this up. It seems now that if I am to criticize his perspectives, at least in regards to this specifically, I'm going to need to be, perhaps, a little bit more charitable. Because he did some reason, all right, we're setting a low bar here, but yeah. And again, Hunter Avallone, my boy. If you ever want to talk about this more, we could do this a lot easier over a debate format, Aren't you tired of this game, Hunter Avallone? Bandying about at a distance, trading little blows from across the balconies? Wouldn't you rather just speak to me directly? Ooh. I could get it all over with in one big debate.
Whenever the discussion of gender arises...
That's what I'm saying. We've had enough foreplay. Thanks, babe.
Yeah, absolutely. This is like a slow burn romance. It's too much.
Yeah, for too long now has Hunter Avallone been tickling my frenulum with the tip of his tongue, okay? For too long have I been drooling precum from the head of my penis onto his puckered hole, okay? I'm done with this foreplay, Hunter Avallone. I'm done with you teasing me. I'm done with you playing with my feelings. Fucking debate me.
Is biology always makes an appearance. What I think is funny is the group of people who most benefit from the notion that gender is solely a social construct also have biological traits that heavily suggest otherwise. Gender is not only a social construct.
Wait, what? What did he say that people who benefit most from suggesting that gender is only a social construct? Wait, what?
That gender is solely a social construct also have biological traits that heavily suggest otherwise.
What? What is he saying? Is he saying that people who say that gender is only a social construct have big titties? He did like this when he said it. Didn't he? Didn't he do the titty?
Also have biological traits that heavily suggest otherwise.
He kind of did the titty. Is that what he's saying? That if you have tits, that's an argument against... Okay, well, let's hear him out.
Gender is not only a social construct. Society definitely plays a role in gender expression.
Just because... Okay, quit with the gender expression nonsense. We're not talking about gender expression. We're talking about gender identity. And gender, I mean, we can talk about both, don't get me wrong. Fucking obviously, gender expression has a biological fucking component. Big ass titties, they don't just throw these things off trees, you know? You get that shit from the beginning, or if you take hormones or implants. What? But gender identity, how you identify, is a social construct. And what's more, just because something has a biological component doesn't make it not a social construct. Again, race is a social construct. We aren't just imagining that black people tend to have wider noses, more prominent nostrils, thinner eyebrows, and bigger lips, and darker skin. This isn't imagined. This is true. This doesn't make race not a social construct.
But gender is also reliant on evolutionary and biological traits. There are far larger...
You can't just fall... What do you mean reliant? You mean like reliant conceptually? Sure, like that's one way that people... Like, yeah, obviously having a dick is considered part of being a man, but that doesn't mean that what is and is not a man are not socially determined. This is like... Okay, just really quickly. Just really quickly. Listen, okay, I'm gonna construct a man for you guys, okay? All right? Okay, wait, let's do some things, okay? Wait, all right? I'm gonna build a thing, okay? Let's throw some traits on the ground, okay? All right, big shoulders. Poorly drawn dong so I don't get demonetized, okay? Now we have narrow shoulders and wide hips. Okay, look, we're doing this. Okay, and this is a vagina. Okay, I'm trying to keep it abstract. Okay, all right. Okay, and now we've got short hair. That's short hair, like a fade. You know. Okay, and then now we've got long hair. Okay? Now let's do it. Let's draw a bubble as to what a man is. Okay? We did it. We found out what men are. Big dongo, wide shoulders, hair. Okay? We did it. We found it. Now, wait a second. Wide shoulders and big dongo are pretty much products of biology. But anyone can have any hairstyle. It's not like there's men hair and women hair. I don't think, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's like fucking women could have short hair, right? Yeah. So why is this in here? Okay, well, this is a non-biological trait. This is socially determined, but it plays into the identity as to what constitutes a man. But the question is, why did we draw this circle and not this circle? Just because some parts inside of the circle we draw, such as these two, are biologically determined, doesn't mean the act of drawing a circle is not itself a socially constructed phenomena. Does this make sense? Where we draw the line, what we determine Yeah, it's not a circle, true. What we determine fits within the box, this is entirely a social prospect, not biological. Even if there are biological components inside, the box, the circle, the weird ovaloid ding-dong itself are social.
More pressing issues involving the LGBT community, but
Again, what is this whataboutism? Wait. How fucking stupid is this? And he's like, aren't there better issues we could be focusing on? Yeah, do you think United Airlines staff and PR team could have been working on more pressing matters for the LGBT community? What the fuck are you talking about?
I was arguing that there are bigger issues concerning the LGBT community as a whole, and United's cheap attempt to garner woke brownie points was really nothing special.
Okay, nobody said it was special. You're the one who made it into a video, Hunter Avallone. You're the one who made it into a fucking video! If you didn't think it was special, why didn't you just ignore it? And why'd you preempt the video with a bunch of jokes at the expense of the existence of non-binary people? Obviously, you think it's some kind of special. And also, what kind of stupid argument is that? The LGBT thing has better things to focus on? Okay, I didn't realize the LGBTQ activist community had their fucking efforts hampered by the lobbying they were doing to get United Airlines to put an MX title in their flight prep. What? No one was hurt by this. This is the definition of whataboutism. Oh, they did a thing. Oh, well, there are more important things. There's any LGBTQ activism that isn't single-handedly obliterating heteronormativity is a waste of time. Don't even bother with it. The fuck are you going on about?
Remember, bro, you actually agree with me.
Hey, don't bro me. And I may agree with you in my criticism, but not for the same reason. And the reason matters very much. See, because the difference is, I say United Airlines is just doing this for woke brownie points. They should do more. You say it, and then you say they shouldn't have done it at all. That's the big difference right there.
But then you contradict yourself again.
I don't.
In trying to look woke while doing nothing very significant.
Yeah, I agree. Again, the difference is I would want them to do more, and you would want them to do less.
Yeah, are you sure about that?
Yeah, wait. Is it happening? Hunter Avallone, are you about to say that your problem with United Airlines having MX as a title in their airline flight prep means that you actually want United Airlines to more sincerely and substantially represent the interests of non-binary people? Is that what you're saying? I'm ready. Hunter Avallone. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Hunter Avallone, I am so fucking ready. I am on the edge. I'm spewing pre-cum. Make me nut.
You just mocked me in the earlier clip for suggesting there are bigger issues to be focusing on. You just mocked.
No, I didn't mock you for saying there are bigger issues to focus on. I mocked you for thinking that that is in any way a substantive criticism of United Airlines' decision to include the MX title in their fucking flight plan. Again, what the fuck are you talking about?
Mocked my notion that United could be doing more. This pretentious hipster.
Wait. That could be doing more? Hunter Avallone, don't you fucking lie to me. At no point in your video did you suggest that United Airlines could be doing more. You just said in this video that you said the LGBTQ community could be doing more. So what is it, Hunter Avallone? Was your criticism that United Airlines didn't go far enough in including pro-non-binary messaging? Or is your criticism that them doing so in some way detracted from the messaging of the LGBTQ community? Please! What is it, my friend? Ooh, slippery little Avallone. Why can't you just make a statement instead of just smarming around, oh, this pretentious hipster said this, but then later contradicted himself with it? Just say it. Hunter Avallone. Do you think United Airlines should have done more to help non-binary people? Meaning, they should have done this, the MX title, and more. I look forward to an answer.
Clearly views himself as morally superior.
Oh wait, he called me a pretentious hipster again.
Pretentious hipster.
Six times!
clearly views himself as morally superior.
I'm you got me there, little Hunter. I do think I'm morally superior to you. Oh, is it 7 times? 7 times! I don't know, who cares? I do think I'm morally superior to you. I think you're a bigot. What are you gonna do? Only way to prove me wrong is to debate me. I'm gonna keep saying it till the end of time. Until I see proof otherwise, I am very evidence-based, Hunter Avallone.
He thinks he's just so smart. But once you get past the pretentious fluff surrounding his words...
Can you stop projecting your insecurities on me? Jesus fucking Christ. He thinks he's so smart. Like, fuck, come on, man. Don't make me feel bad over here. I'm not that smart. You're just really dumb.
Vosh is nothing more than a...
Wait, he got my name right this time.
Cliche, weak, pathetic reactionary.
That's not what reactionary means, Hunter Avallone. That's not what the word means, Hunter Avallone. Also, Hunter Avallone, don't call me weak. Throw up your fucking bench numbers. Throw up your squat. Throw up your deadlift. Throw up your fucking... Throw up your fucking lunges. Please. Hunter Avallone. Glass houses, my friend. You really do look like a child. Please.
Forming baseless arguments on his own preconceived notions.
Third time, by the way, he said that I form arguments on my preconceived notions. Hunter Avallone, I didn't know who the fuck you were until I started watching your videos. I had heard nothing about you. We don't run in the same circles. You're not like Nazi enough to pick up on my Nazi radar, and you never debated Destiny. And I consume all of his content because I'm a fucking idiot. Okay? I didn't know who the fuck you were until I just started browsing because I needed content for my fresh new YouTube channel. Dumb idiot soy boys who hate trans people. And I found you, okay? I didn't have any preconceived notions. I just saw your videos, I react to the videos.
His arguments are littered with fallacies and contradictions, and at the end of the day, he's nothing more than a small little failure hiding behind big boy words.
I don't need to make fun of that, right? I don't need to make fun of that one, right? Can we? That one can take care of itself, right?